ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, laid off a lot of people a couple weeks ago, many of which were big-time personalities, well-known coaches, celebrities, and they laid them off because ESPN's struggling. I'm not going to cover that today. But if you're looking for what I think about ESPN's layoffs, I will give you a little nugget. You can search my show when I talked about Target and Bud Light. That's all I'm going to say. Let you go research that. When you get away from doing the thing you're supposed to do, you go broke. And you know why I watch ESPN? I watch ESPN for sports. I don't want to see politics and social issues shoved in my face. I want to see the highlight of the guy ripping the rim off the backboard. That's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. I want to see the top 10 plays. I don't want to see the top 10 social issues that you're forcing down my throat. All right. Back to the article. Sorry, a little commercial break there. All right. And by the way, if you think I'm crazy, I'm not. It's not about politics. It's about the product, the service that you offer people. People go to Target for a loofah to scrub their back. That's why they go to Target. People bought Bud Light because they want cheap, awful beer. That's it. And you get outside of that, your customer's going to go, I'm not interested. It's just, what is the purpose? Is the purpose to be political? Or is the purpose to solve a problem? I'm just telling you, there's a whole bunch of people that want cheap, awful beer, and whoever provides it to them without making a political statement is going to win. And it's just a fact. All right. So here we go. So ESPN is struggling. They're hemorrhaging. Why? Because ESPN is all about social issues these days. They forgot what it was about. Guys like me want to watch highlights. All right? That's the bottom line. I grew up on SportsCenter. It was the best hour of my life when I was a teenager. All right. Former SportsCenter anchor Ashley Brewer was a part of ESPN's latest round of layoffs last month, and she discussed the matter in a recent TikTok video, to which some internet troll, some loser who has nothing going on in their life, that they jump into her TikTok mentions and take a shot at her. And this is what the idiot said. Some loser dude who needs to make everyone else feel awful about themselves so he feels better about his pathetic life. She's on her honeymoon when she announces that she's been laid off. This clown goes in and says, for now, when you're on your honeymoon, real world doesn't exist. Once you get back home and you realize you have nowhere to go and reality sets in, blah, blah, blah. Just nasty. So it caught some attention and she highlighted it. So this is what she said. This is her response. I want to show this video and then we'll come back. Watch this.
I live by this quote: never let your happiness be determined by something you may lose. In life, nothing is guaranteed. You can lose relationships, you can lose jobs, you can lose homes. My happiness will never be determined by a job or by being an ESPN SportsCenter anchor. I have always felt like so much more than that. This job was never my identity. I enjoyed it. It was so much fun. I used to always say it was the best job ever. But my life and happiness and, say, depression would not depend on losing a job. I pray to God that no one else that got laid off is depressed by this. I pray that none of my followers are depressed when they lose a job, because you are so much more than a job. And I know that. And I know when this job was taken away from me, that God was redirecting me towards something else. I appreciate all of the kind words, the support. You guys have been amazing. That's all I'll say about it. Thank you.
All right, so just a very gracious response to some troll. So I want to talk about I gotta spend a minute on those of you that have experienced someone taking a shot at you online. We were talking about this in a meeting today. We live in a day and age where we have a lot of people who've grown up with a smartphone in their hands. They've grown up on Facebook. They've grown up in chat rooms. And listen, this is important because I didn't grow up on that. And so I grew up in a world that if I was going to criticize somebody and go after them, there were consequences. If I took on somebody and said something nasty to them, I might get slugged right in the nose. Now, I know some of you snowflakes can't picture a world where you mouthed off and got in somebody's face and they hauled off and just jacked you up. I mean, knock you on your butt. I watch all these videos and stuff of these people at protests and people being nasty, getting up in somebody's face, and they have the same First Amendment right that you do, and I would protect both of you, whether I disagree with you or not. I think you should all be able to get together. But this idea we get in people's face, that only happens in that format. Those are people that are dealing with rage. Well, back in my day, you did that. Let me tell you something. You'd walk away with a nose that had been readjusted. We live in a day and age now where you can go online and you jump into a sweet Sports Center anchor. She's not hurting anybody. She's just sharing that she got laid off and she's going through and send something positive, and some troll gets in there and he's got to take a shot at her. Why? I'll tell you why. Because we have so many people who feel bad about themselves that they want to take a shot at anybody else. And they do it with zero consequence, because when someone attacks you, by the way, I get attacked all the time. They come in, I post something on Instagram, and I'm just posting an opinion piece, and someone wants to take a shot at me personally. I laugh that stuff off. I don't focus on it. But the bottom line is people can do that now because they're on a keyboard and I'm not in front of them. Watch how brave they would be if I were in front of them. And I'm not an intimidating guy. But people wouldn't do it. So that's part of the problem. Is people taking attacks and attacking with no consequence. It's pretty interesting. Now, her response is great. Some of you have been laid off. Some of you have been fired. And if you're not careful, you will take so much of your personal identity and self-being, and you will attach it to the job and the circumstances by which the job was taken. And it's real, and it happens all the time. So I'm just going to be very transparent with you. In my particular job, you all are watching me, you're listening to me, you know that I am, in fact, the product. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a programmer. I am the product. Now, that's just the nature of what I do. I care deeply about the people that I get a chance to talk to. I care deeply about my philosophy. I care deeply about the methodology. I have worked on this stuff for years and years and years. It is personal. The reason that I help people discover what they are supposed to do with their life and do it to the best of their ability is because I was in a season where I was totally confused about it after having one very clear direction, and it rocked my world for 3 years, and it almost took me out. So I care deeply about this problem. I love writing books. I love giving keynote addresses. I love doing this show live. I love going on Fox News yesterday and the week before. I love it. I love all of that. I love coaching people more than anything I do. I enjoy commenting on stories. I love what I do, and I'm known for doing it. But can I just tell you something? I'm Stacy's husband of 25 years. I'm dad to Ty, Chase, and Josie. I'm the son to Ken and Barbara. That's right, the real life Ken and Barbie. Hey, I'm friends too, and I could go on and on and on. What I do matters deeply to me, but I am more than my job. I'm more than my role. So those of you that are going through this right now, you still have tremendous value. You matter, and you have what it takes.